rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. In the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive. Yeah. Oh. So many times it happens too fast. You trade your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night, and he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. The eye of the tiger. Face to face, out in the heat, hanging tough, staying hungry. They stack the odds, still we take to the street with the kill and the skill to survive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night, and he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. The eye of the tiger. So get up off the ground. 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 Has anybody ever heard that song before? Okay. I'm going to take a vote which version you like better. So I'm going to go ahead and sing an original song. And that was an oldie 80s song, so I like to do it a little folky. Sorry I don't have vocoder and a looping trumpet up here with me, but... All right, this next song is about an old Celtic saint, Saint Brendan. Saint Brendan got in a boat and traveled across the Atlantic Ocean, and he didn't know he was heading for the east coast of America. He traveled into the unknown, and he blows my mind. So this is a song about Saint Brendan. Original, solo acoustic version. you, Brendan. Thank you for your courage on the sea. Yeah, yeah. A castaway. You cast away your fear. You shipped it back to hell. Goodbye and farewell. You were looking for a new land. Yes, you were. St. Brendan, take my hand. The waves are crashing in. Yes, the winds are blowing. I feel like I don't know which way I'm going. No. Could you feel Did you feel like you were chasing the wild goose? The wild goose. I got swells. And I got swells in my head. And my heart's like running in the dark or steering Noah's Ark. You were looking for a new land. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, St. Brendan, take my hand. The waves are crashing in. Yes, the winds are blowing. I feel like I don't know which way I'm going. I don't know sometimes which way I'm going. I don't know sometimes which way I'm going, but I just keep walking, walking, and I start running. The sea is so wide, and my boat is so small. The sea is so wide, and my boat is so small. The sea is so wide, and my boat is so small. The sea is so wide, yeah, and my boat is so small. take my hand. The waves are crashing in. It didn't stop you. Why should it stop me? It didn't stop you. Why should it stop me? All right. I'm going to do one more song. How many of you have kids? If you have kids, how many of you went to that point when you had kids and you stopped sleeping because they don't, it's like they don't sleep when you want to sleep. So when I had my first son, Judah, Michael Lyon, and then I had Gabriel, and then I had Scarlett, I stopped sleeping. And I'm on a journey, living in a startup company that I started, so tend to not be hanging out with my old friends Sleep. The song is called Sleep. And sometimes when you have a dream and a vision, you need to part ways with your old friend Sleep. Sleep, my old friend, I wish you'd come around again so we could all lay down and be friends. When the moon is so bright, everything's all right. We should all lay down and be friends. Yes, I know. Someday we will be friends again. 2:30 in the morning night. Something here, you know, it just ain't right. Ever since I laid eyes on my little baby boy, I just can't seem to find my sleep. My old friend, I wish you'd come around again so we could all lay down and be friends. When the moon is so bright, everything's all right. We should all lay down and be friends. We used to be so very close. Then one day you disappeared. Did I leave you or did you leave me? Yeah. All I know is I miss my sleep. My old friend, I wish you'd come around again so we could all lay down and be friends. When the moon is so bright, everything's all right. We should all lay down. Sleep, my old friend, I wish you'd come around again so we could all lay down and be friends. When the moon is so bright, everything's all right. We should all lay down and be sleep. Oh, my moon is so bright, everything's all right. We should all lay down and be friends. All right. So either you need to let go of your sleep, your friend, and get off the couch, or if you haven't slept in a while, maybe you need to get on the couch. I'm going to go ahead and invite Ian to
They didn't know I was going to bring him up, but yeah, come up. I just want you to say hi. You can come sit on my lap. Come up here, baby. So this is my oldest son, Malachi. He's 8 years old. This is my youngest, Kenton. And because of their mama, Jonna, they are the most wonderful children. I give my wife the credit for how wonderful they are. And again, bring the hoverboards on up. Bring the two hoverboards in these two corners before Robert comes up. What I want to say about family is that family matters. You see, my family's lived in San Francisco Bay Area for 10 generations. So my two boys now are 11th generation residents of San Francisco. And so cities matter because cities are built on families when it was just somebody coming on a ship, landing, and being an entrepreneur, and actually coming up and starting something. And we get to build on top of what other people have done, right? So Rachel is building on the legacy that was already laid in Bristol. All of you are building on the legacy that has already been built for generation after generation after generation in San Francisco. And I think back to my ancestor, Lieutenant Moraga, and I think to myself, wow, look what's happened in 10 generations since he landed. And then I think, what's it going to be like 10 generations from now? That's one reason why I'm doing this event. That's one reason why I have these speakers come up. It's a reason why I'm excited about things like Hoverboard's GeoBlade. It's about where we're going as society. And I want the world to be a better place. I want the San Francisco Bay Area to be better for my children and their children's children's children who I'll never meet. But I think today I'm affecting their life. K-Boy. Welcome to the future of Shasta. So this is going to be a very special night. Let me just explain a couple things to you. You are part of the production. Many of you got a pioneer ticket. 57 Facebook and YouTube pages are streaming this event live. I'm going to be communicating with the video team. I'm going to be communicating with you off and on because you're not here to only watch something, you're here to experience something, to be a pioneer with the rest of the people that are part of this, to be a partner with us, certainly to be a participant. If you give me 10 minutes of your undivided attention, I promise I'll have you gripped for the next hour and a half. You can go and tune me out after 10 minutes if I don't earn it. Just give me 10. That's all I ask for. If the video team could signify if I'm live or not, or if we're rolling a video, I am live. Thank you. First of all, digital audience, thank you so much for your attention. We don't deserve it. I'm humbled that you would actually allow us, me and my friends, to influence you right now. If you listen to us, we will give you hope. You will be more optimistic. You will believe great things for your region, whether you're part of Shasta County or not. What's going to happen for the digital audience, who are the viewers, where we have the partners in the room, the digital audience is going to have a video that plays in between each speaker. What that means is that we'll have some transition time up here, and you get to go online to watch the video that was shown. The video that just played before, as I was up here kind of getting ready, was a video from the last event I did called Future of Tech. It was at Twitter's headquarters in San Francisco, inside the Runway Incubator. I was there a few months ago, and I had this idea that people were dystopic and fearful and scared and anxious about technology, whether it was blockchain or IoT or AI or phones or all the things that are happening. People are afraid. Terminator makes it easy. Blade Runner makes it easy. It doesn't take a lot of work to be afraid. So I thought to myself, what if I had 9 of my mentors, 9 of my heroes come on a stage inside Twitter's building and share optimism and hope? And they did it amazing. During that time, right in the middle, because my family's most important to me, at least in my mind, I try to get my actions to catch up with what I believe. My family's number one. And so I stopped everything. I had my boys come and crawl up in my lap. A little 5-year-old Kenton and 8-year-old Malachi. And I snuggled them because it's always right to snuggle. There's never a bad time for snuggle time. And so we snuggled and they played their iPads and I talked about my family legacy and how important my children were to me. And that's what the video that it showed, okay? Because it sets a tone for who I am. Because a lot of you don't know me. Those that know me know that I love you. Yeah. That I genuinely care about you and this place called Shasta County. Tonight you will be infused with hope. You may only move 1 degree toward optimism, but you will move if you just give us your attention. I'm inviting people to come share the stage with me that I love and that I respect and honor so much that I would rather ask them questions and listen than talk. And I really like to talk. And so we're about to do that. So let me frame it up for you. Luke Miner is going to speak about entrepreneurship. Hope Seth will be talking about community. Jake Mangus will talk about business. We'll have Ryan Collins speak on education. Then Julie Winter will speak about economic development. And finally, Jonathan Anderson will speak about compassion. I will conclude our night with an encouragement of the things that have been burning on my heart. And I'm going to do the best I can to empower others to talk for the next period of time. In between the speakers, there'll be transition time. And for all of you that are the pioneers and the partners and at least the participants who bought the anti-social ticket, which was a joke, and I can't believe how many of you bought it. Thank you. I thought nobody would ever buy that. But we're partners tonight. You will be entertained. You will have an escapism moment tonight. You will lose all your worries and concerns for a moment, but you're a partner with me because there's 57 Facebook and YouTube pages. Not all of them are local. Not all of them have big audiences. Maybe only 5 matter. But people raised their hand and said, I'll help. And I'll say, if you are one of those people that got the Pioneer ticket, please, if we're not streaming through your page because we didn't technically work it out, please grab your phone. Pick your favorite person. I just named them off. Luke Miner, Hope Seth, Jake Mangus, Ryan Collins, Julie Winter, and Jonathan Anderson. Pick somebody. Pull out your phone and live stream them to your Instagram account. Be a pioneer with me. Definitely go and share. At least share this experience on your social pages. So, we're about ready to transition. I'm going to bring Luke up in just a moment. Before I do, I wanted to ask Carrie to come up from the local foundation. And so, Carrie, I'd like you to come up. If Carrie doesn't have a microphone, somebody please bring a microphone to us. And Carrie, come up on the stage. I celebrate you. I honor you. This is a 100% volunteer experience. Even the equipment, $500,000 of equipment, Ghost Hand Productions, who the owner graduated from Simpson University with a master's degree, was so excited about the vision for this event that he said, I'll send all my equipment up, won't even charge you a rental fee. Everybody working this event has volunteered. I have volunteered. There is no sponsor money. The money that we get from the tickets, as well as 10% of the revenue from the food and drinks that you are buying, all goes to your amazing organization. Please tell us about it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us tonight. Thank you for hosting such a fabulous event. I'm Carrie Crancy from the Community Foundation, and what a perfect partnership, really, between the Community Foundation and the Future of Shasta event. We are the savings account for the community.
I love that.
We are here to prepare for the future of Shasta County through philanthropy. That's what we're here to do. What a wonderful, wonderful event. So between the proceeds of the tickets and proceeds of the event from the food and beverage will come to the foundation to help perpetuate the future of Shasta County. So thank you so much. Keep eating, keep drinking. That'll be fabulous. And thank you for everything that you do and for the community that came together on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving for North State Giving Tuesday. For those of you who don't know, Shasta and Siskiyou came together on one day, and in 14 hours, our communities raised over $1 million. Yeah.
So special.
What a testament to the place in which we live. And I think it's a very strong showing of what we really want to see come together in the future of Shasta.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking our money.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
Anytime.
it. I'll keep the microphone. Let's keep it easy. Let's celebrate Carrie. Let's celebrate what she's done. And let's roll to the video about Luke Miner's company, You Caring, and rolling, and let me know when we're back live. Luke, please come on up. And I am so grateful for your attention. One of my personal heroes is here next to me.
Thank you, Ian.
I don't get to often talk about heroes that I look up to that are younger than me, but you are certainly one of them. Probably because of my pride. I'm trying to become a more humble man so I can be more mentored and guided by younger people. You have made a tremendous impact on my life. You represent confident humility and exceeding expectations in a way that is very rarely seen through all generations. All of you in this room that get to live in the same region as Luke Miner should feel so incredibly grateful. I feel the same way about Corey from the Civic. The two of you have something that is unlike what I found in my journey through life. The reason why I asked you to come speak is because I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Question number one. I'm asking the same 4 questions from everybody, just so you know what you're going to get. It's big vision, who inspires you, practical vision, how do we get there? Number 1. If anything's possible, anything is possible. Like the moment of singularity happens and artificial intelligence makes everything better and we have the machines working for us, anything's possible. Where could Shasta County become in the next 10 years or so?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I am going to read a little bit. I'm going to take some cues from notes. And mainly I'm going to talk about things that are near and dear to my heart. So For one, not only is this something that we are going to continue to become, but something that we are is an incredible outdoor hub. I don't know how many of you guys love outdoors, hiking, waterfall, bike. If you pull up, REI has a map that basically mapped outdoor biking trails. And I think Shasta County had like 160 within 20 miles or something like that, like hundreds and hundreds of miles. So this is something that we already are and are going to be. The second thing that was on my mind for Shasta County was that this is a fantastic place to launch from. And I think about that in incredible avenues like Bethel Tech is just building a school for education, technology education. UCaring launched from here. We were able to start because of very low cost of rent, cost of living. There is a pretty incredible talent for starting something here. I think of like CH2M Hill is a Fortune 500 company that started from Reading. Some incredible companies that launched from here. And I think this is an incredible launching pad for Limelight as well. Garrett was just up here playing to start and launch from here and then move to the Bay Area. This is a great thing for this city.
Yeah, it's great. This is your moment to prove your humility. Who inspires you? What person, what people, what organization? Who are you running after? Who's driving us toward the big vision that you have? Make some noise about a person or people here.
Yeah, so I've got a list of people who have inspired me in Reading for years. One of the first guys that incredibly inspired me, he spoke earlier on the live cast, is Tim Marinello. Tim hired me 6 years ago and basically told me I needed to grow up. I was not confident. This was before I had anything to do with starting my own company. And part of his teaching and training helped me become, I think, a real man that enabled me to be the man I am today. And Tim is still on. He's probably hired 150 people in Shasta County, trained some of the best salespeople that I know. A fantastic man. Some other people, Rachel Hatch is incredibly inspiring in some of the work that she's doing with McConnell Foundation. Tony Giovanello and Todd Jones are killing it out there at the Shasta Venture Hub, encouraging startups. Hope Seth is a huge inspiration for me in the work she plowed in getting the Shasta Venture Hub started. And those are some of the people that I see on a regular basis. And not only do I see on a regular basis, but I see their impact. And one other thing that is very exciting is a project that's in front of the city council right now. And I think Adam McIlvain has one of the coolest visions. Adam McIlvain is one of the Reading city councilors, has one of the coolest visions with seeing basically fast speed, direct fiber internet in downtown. And I think that would create incredible density. So if you get a chance, go to city council. It's every other Tuesday night, I believe. And you get everyone gets a 3-minute comment time where they can say that they want to see that. I think that would be one of the most impacting things that we could do here.
That's awesome. The third question is more practical. What's possible in a year? Like, what could you imagine happening? I know a year sounds little if you go days, but if you go seconds, like we have so many seconds.
A lot of seconds.
In 1 year. What can we do in a year, Luke? What can be done? What's your vision? Where can we be in 2019?
So the project that I am working on with a small cohort of people, actually a growing cohort of people in the startup community, is this thing we call a venture conference. How many people know what a venture conference is or have ever heard about one of those? Yes, no, okay, I see a couple hands. Well, venture conference is basically, how many people have watched a Shark Tank? One Shark Tank, raise your hand, yeah? Okay, funny show. A lot of this stuff is cool and fun. I love that startup stuff. Some of it's unrealistic and a little ridiculous, but imagine a local Shark Tank where the great entrepreneurs from Shasta County and the surrounding regions. Redding is really this regional hub for Northern California. There's no other city that's even close to the size, has close to the resources in NorCal. But imagine an event like the Sundial Film Festival, or like one of these great festivals where entrepreneurs come and pitch their idea to real investors, hear feedback on their pitches, and then get a real investment in their company or an investment prize. I went to one of these and I got to be in the room when they awarded over $600,000 in prize investments to these young entrepreneurs. And it was one of the most inspiring things I've ever talked about. So this is not a formal, this is not a formal announcement, but we're pushing very hard to see one of those happen in April of 2019 with some collaborating events leading up to that. Because I think there's nothing that could help stimulate and incentivize the startup community in Redding more than a fantastic venture conference that puts the entrepreneur community on display, from the startups to the investors to the surrounding cast, the lawyers and CPAs and incredible consultants we have in our midst. That's my personal what will happen in the next year.
I love it. Well, let's end on a high note of action. Mike Warren, who used to be the city manager, and I spoke this week. He was gracious enough to come here and spend time with all the speakers so that we could have him speak into what we're doing as emerging leaders, or the leaders have been driving things forward for a while. And he said something very clear to me. He said, I have one message. Cast a powerful vision, do what you say you're going to do, and hold everybody else to that really high standard. So here's the final question. Folks that live and work here, what can they do? How can they make the 10-year vision a reality? How can they be inspired by others? How can they make the right now, right here, vision happen? And you have 49 seconds.
49 seconds. So something that my family is doing, we just adopted a block in downtown that we're going to walk around every 2 weeks and clean up trash.
I love that.
That's pretty exciting. Go to a city council meeting, get involved with some of the events, the Viva Downtown, the Chamber, the EDC. Density. If you're gonna eat, work, and play, let's try to do it downtown, and let's try to create some density, because the public safety thing, I think that dilution is the solution of pollution. So let's just fill it up, and then pollution won't be a problem.
That's good.
There are great restaurants that you know about, like this place. Thank you guys very much for hosting us. Final draft, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon.
Okay, good. I'll keep the microphone. Thank you. Okay, I imagine we've cut to the video, Christian.
I have found, as an entrepreneur and as a creative, a lot of times it is a lonely pursuit. You can get people excited about your venture and your vision and the idea that you want to bring forth to a world waiting, but people will only go with you so far. Shasta Venture Hub is a wonderful place because it is a community of dreamers that have evolved and have taken the risk of doing.
People are used to working on their own, and what the Shasta Venture Hub is it brings people around it to a central location where they can connect, where they can meet. And so to me, the startup community feels so much larger and it feels so much more connected than it did before.
I've never seen people so hands-on and willing to support whatever you have a passion to do. They will walk you step by step on how to get to the next level.
Having this kind of resource as a startup, I can't even put a number to it. Not only is this structure and the internet and things that we need, it's also the leadership. We would not have our first class done without this place.
It has been a catalyst for attracting the right events that connect entrepreneurs and mentors. A Startup Weekend is an example of that.
We really work to connect entrepreneurs to those resources that they need. Those resources look like research, product development stage, identifying their customers, low-cost workspace, and connecting them to capital once they get to that point.
Startups can do well in this area because we have a low cost basis.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say this because I hope they don't bump the prices up on us, but I'd probably pay twice as much.
And it would like be saying, okay, I can buy a can of Coke for $2 in Silicon Valley, or I could buy it in Reading for $1. Now, if you can have a low cost basis and you still have access to talent and capital and resources, why wouldn't you want to do that?
There's a culture that says, hey, we know how to start and execute good business.
And so now all of a sudden you've got this partnership and this accountability and this encouragement starting to happen to where you're growing.
Encourager as well. So Christian, give me the countdown and then we'll be ready to go. Welcome to the future of Shasta. For those that are tuning in online, we have a large crowd here. You cannot see them, but maybe you can all make some noise and scream for a second. Louder. Prove that you're really here, that you're not a machine. Thank you for your attention, Internet. I think we are deserving of your attention. I think that we will influence you right now, here in this conversation, as well as the conversations to follow. We will encourage you. We will infuse hope, optimism for your region, regardless if you're part of Shasta County or not. I just happen to love Shasta County and hope you are one of the people that I have so much honor for. I love what you've done. I love what you're doing. I think that you are creating a phenomenal legacy in your family with 4 children. In the business world, here in Reading, in Anderson, I know that your legacy will impact a much larger region than here. I think that you are a model of what people, not women, what people can achieve. And I'm just so happy to hear your answers to my questions.
Thank you.
So the first question is, if anything was possible, if you personally had unlimited resources, if Shasta County had unlimited resources, if every single thing people would say yes to, if the wind was in your sails, if you could not lose, if the county could not lose, and you had 10 years, just a long time from now, what could Shasta County become?
That's such a great question. So when I was thinking about this question, there's that part of me that wanted to be real idealistic and vision-oriented because my name is Hope, right? And so I do have something that fits that, but then I have some concrete answers too. Awesome. So I took my name and I spelled out each letter, and I feel like H stands for health. I feel like a healthy community. We want to be a community that takes advantage of our environment, but we also care about the health of our bodies, our minds, our emotions, our spirit. And as a community, there are so many efforts being underway to make sure we are a healthy community. The O stands for opportunity. I feel like we are a community that will be known for opportunity. There's opportunity that you can actually do in a small town that you don't have in big, large cities. If you look at From the Hearth and you look at some of these Black Bear Diner that started here and how it's expanded, it's so much easier to get started, and then you can take that out. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the coming years. P stands for peace. And I think that there's a peace and an honor and a respect among each other. But I think that's going to radiate out into the community. And E stands for education. Education really does open the door. It allows you to look outside a box that we're all kind of born in. Some people's boxes are bigger than others, but education and being able to be exposed to things that are beyond that box are so important to growth and progress. So that's my big vision, but I'd love to do some concrete things that I really feel like 10 years is
it's a drop in the bucket. Yes. If you have kids, you know that, right? So I believe that we're going to see the rise of the remote worker.
Yes.
We're going to see remote working. It's already happening, but we're going to see it to greater extents here. New talent base. There's going to be a new base of talent and skills. Rachel Hatch just even posted that she just met someone today who had blockchain technology, born, raised right here, and working on it from here. So I think we're going to discover a whole new talent base that's here. I think there's going to be an explosion of creativity that we're going to see. This is a very creative community, and I think we're going to see new endeavors and new places of creativity and a new skill level of excellence. Creativity inspires excellence. We're going to see a new wave of entrepreneurship. Small businesses, we see a lot of those small businesses, you know, we service them and we go, but I think we're going to see a different type of entrepreneurship, more risk, and more around the experience-based economy, where a lot of experiences and unique things we're going to see. I think we're going to see specialized training, hybrid models of education with traditional education with real skills that are going to produce high wage and skill training. Investors, you know, I really feel like we're going to start to draw. I think in 10 years, we're going to be amazed at the level of investment that we attract from the outside. They're going to start to notice what's happening here, and they're going to want to get in on it. I think our downtown momentum in 10 years is going to have leaked over and carried over into the neighborhoods. And we're going to see a revitalization of the neighborhoods adjacent to downtown, but I also feel like it's going to go over into Park Marina, and we'll see that then begin to take shape. And then finally, I just feel like we're going to be a model city that shows what cities can be like that are in the middle of transition. There are so many cities that are in our exact same scenario with high rates of unemployment or poverty, or they're more rural, they're not connected to a metropolitan area. And I really believe that in 10 years, they're going to be coming to us and say, what did you do? And almost in disbelief, like, I just can't even believe that that's where you were, and here's where you've come to.
I love that. Does that resonate with all of you? Don't you think that's real? Can't we do that in 10 years? If we're patient, can't we do that? If we're consistent, if we don't give up, can't we achieve that? I think so. Who inspires you? Person, people, organization, like who are you chasing after, who are you listening to, who are you following when they speak? You be quiet, you take notes. Who's your inspiration?
Yeah. You know, I really have come to really enjoy hearing the future scouts. I call them future scouts. They live in the community, but they are like on the edge of the future. I see them going out. They're like looking out over the community at what's being done outside, but they're part of our community, and they want to discover those things and bring them back to us. And I feel like it's so important as a community that we have really open minds and open arms to hear things that we haven't heard before and we haven't seen before, but others are on the edge. They're out there scouting what's coming down the road. Yeah. Future Scouts, in terms of real local, the McConnell Foundation, everything they do is with excellence. And if I was going to take one thing that they do is they do it with excellence. And I think as a community, we really have to, whenever we take on a project, we need to do it with excellence. Another really that I've been impressed with locally is the public sector. So education, healthcare, government. You know, you don't really think of those as kind of being, they have a really hard job. And as I've kind of gotten involved with it, it's like it all looks easy from the outside to have a solution until you're actually trying to work inside the boxes and confines that they have. So anyone who is inside that system that is looking innovatively and they're saying, how do we create out-of-the-box solutions and how do we welcome out-of-the-box solutions and how can we apply them? So I'm working with a couple collaboratives. Reach Higher Shasta is an educational collaborative that is doing just that. It's a partnership with business. It's a partnership with public health, with our K-12, early childhood, our colleges, and they're all coming together saying how across the whole county can we implement improvements for our kids so that they are prepared for every option that they may want to go into after high school and college. It's a real innovative way. They're inside the system, but they're looking outside for answers. They're looking outside for innovative ways to move us forward. So I really respect that, because it's hard. And then finally, I just kind of wanted to throw this out there, is I look at Dubai. You guys watch what's going on in Dubai? Like, that's a crazy place. And it's if they have shown the world what you would do if money was absolutely no consideration. Like, you just don't even have to think about whether or not there's enough money. And that challenges me, because when I had the question, what would you do in 10 years? I actually had a hard time coming up with something very concrete. Yeah. And I think it's because we're so conditioned to dream within a confine of our resources. And so if we could somehow dream outside of resources and say what would be possible, then I think the convergence of people, ideas, and resources, we'll start to see that convergence. And that's what's going on with Dubai.
Yeah, I love that. I had, there's one night I had like 5 dreams in a row. And it was the same exact dream every time. And it was basically that Reading had become as extravagantly epic as Dubai. Reading, it was Reading, but it looked like the Apple building, the new circle, because it was built low to the ground. But that level of abundant prosperity and innovation had literally covered Shasta County. And it was over and over and over again. And I'll touch on that again through the night. There's a little teaser of what's to come. I want to ask you another question. Just be sensitive on time. We have a couple minutes left together. Just at this moment, we'll have lots of time to keep dreaming together in the future. I really want to actually, because you did some practical things, so I really want to dive into the call to action. And take your time. Like, don't rush it. Don't say it fast. Like, clearly articulate, what can the people in this room do to get us to what Shasta County is going to become, with or without their help? See, all of you here, and those of you that live here that are watching online, it's your privilege to be able to hear a call to action and how you can actually do something about it. You don't have to. You can watch everybody else do it if you want, or you can jump in and be a part of something bigger than yourself. How do we get there?
That's a good question. So as I've worked with different organizations, one of the things I notice, especially around round tables, is that you think of things like a pie of resources, and then everybody kind of tries to grab a piece of that pie of resources. And what it does is actually creates division within the community trying to compete for similar resources. And if we could somehow draw a bigger pie and draw a bigger vision, so that we then become part of that bigger vision, right? So our piece, instead of all kind of trying to get our piece, we're all actually part of this larger vision, and we're coordinating our time and our resources together. So that's one thing I see that sometimes will keep things from moving forward, is we actually just, we're trying to get our share for our organization, but when we work together, I also feel like just be open, invite, go outside of Reading, travel a little bit, see what's being done. The other thing, I think a real call to action is we're building a community not for ourselves. We really aren't. Development, if you look at development, it is I can't even believe the patience of most land developers, you know? We're building a community for our children. I mean, even if downtown and Park Marina and all of that become the beautiful places we envision, it's our children that are going to enjoy it, right? So I feel like we need to invite perspective, we need to get involved, and we need to really see and coordinate our efforts so that we're really working in alignment, and welcoming the outsider.
Yeah.
We need to welcome the outsider, because our connections outside the community is part of what opens up the box that we know and understand here.
Awesome. We're out of time, but last thing, look right at that camera. It's a perfect frame. I'm not even in it. I'm looking at you, but you're just there. There's a lot of people watching. Give them one sentence. Speak to the digital audience. Share your heart with them, and we'll conclude the time.
Okay. The future belongs to those who show up. So find something you love, find something you're passionate about, and show up.
So good. I'd like to invite
so keep dancing. Everybody say, I can't stop the feeling. Feeling in my body. Break it down. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. Got this feeling in my body. Come on.
welcome. This is my camera. That's yours, Jake. They can't even see me. If I look there, everybody there's going to wonder, what am I doing? Welcome to the future of Shasta. If you're watching online, thank you for your attention. I'll say it over and over and over again because most of you that are watching when Hope and Luke were here are gone. It's all new people. Don't leave us. Pay attention. We'll give you hope and optimism because Jake's here. Jake, that's your camera. And we're wide-angled there. You're actually in all three cameras. It's like all about you right now.
Oh, my gosh.
Say hello to our big digital audience, 57 Facebook and YouTube pages. They're streaming lots from Shasta County. Mm-hmm. Say hello, introduce yourself to the world, and then let's dive into some questions.
Okay. I'm Jake Mangus, and I'm really grateful that you're tuning in right now where you are. And tuning in is an old term, but I come from a television family and had a background in media arts. So when I came in and I saw all of the sound and the 3-camera shoot and the production and everything, very impressive. I mean, this is a major production, so we're grateful for you shedding some positive light on the community of Reading.
Yeah, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to be here. This is going to be an interesting talk for me because I don't have any idea what you're going to say.
You know, that makes two of us, so that's the best part of it all.
You are the only person I have not hugged many times and told I love you. The other 5 know how much I love them. I'm going to love you.
Okay. We'll work toward it.
Just in advance, I'm going to have faith that I love you. I love you so much, Jake.
Thank you,
in the future.
Ian. I love you too.
Thank you. I think what you do here is important. I think chambers are important. I think community is important. I think that your success is the beginning of something very, very grand. And I don't know that you even see how special it is. What I feel for you as the Chamber of Commerce CEO, president, is like a person playing with Bitcoin when it was less than $100. The reason I feel that way is because of what I know Shasta is going to become. And you're like that person that is working on the economy and working on businesses when it's hard and it's a grind and there's no absolute proven future yet. And you're going to be part. And what the people that have $10,000 Bitcoins that got them at $100, as a business leader, I think you're going to feel that way. That's my opinion about you based on what I've heard and your success. So let's dive into the question. Okay. If absolutely anything is possible, what do you think Shasta County can become in 10 years? Take us to a fantasy land.
Okay, well, I really appreciated what we've heard already from Hope and from Luke. Great insights, and I would definitely concur with their grand vision and optimism for our community. I certainly see the quality of life that we enjoy in Reading, and I've said this a number of times actually. As much as the river, the lakes, the mountains, I think that it's the people that are our greatest asset when it comes to our quality of life. And having grown up in this community, that's what I appreciate the most. I think that as the economy continues to change, consumer behavior changes, we have these opportunities to start companies wherever we want, as long as you got an internet connection, basically.
It's amazing.
We can make the case that Reading is a beautiful place to be in so many ways, from that physical stuff that we talk about. The people that exist here are that magnet that attracts that talent. And I think, you know, I see us continuing to grow. We're at a point where we are really ready to launch, I think. California, the population continues to increase in this state, and this is one of the rare parts of our state where it's affordable to live and to work, and certainly a fun place to play. So I see all of those things. It's just kind of more of a general thought. I mean, I certainly see the opportunity that exists with our riverfront. I think about Sacramento, meaning sacrament, and a sacrament being a gift, and it's this gift flowing right through the middle of our community. It's such a great metaphor to me, and an analogy for what is right before our eyes, ever flowing, and you know, just that river of hope that's right there too. So
I love that.
So I do see Reading as, you know, I'm bullish on Reading. I remember meeting with Rachel Hatch a couple of years ago when it was announced that I was going to take on this role, and she said, she wanted to get to know me, and she said, well, what do you think about Reading? And I said, I'm bullish on Reading, California. I think that this is the right time to be in this role, and I take the responsibility so seriously, and I just couldn't be more fortunate to be in this community at this time.
I love that. That's good. Inspiration. I'd like to ask you that you would talk about a person that inspires you that you don't think anybody knows about in this room. The unknown, maybe the outcast, or maybe the deceased, or maybe the youth that nobody would ever even consider. I believe that you can see the best in people and organizations. It's why you're running the chamber. Tell us about somebody that you're just like lit up about right now.
Well, I think that many generations, that's for sure. I mean, we've got this coming together of so many generations in business right now. And I did see an article in Forbes.com, actually, that was talking about the baby boomers retiring, that you've got more than half of baby boomers retiring right now and in the next couple of years. And at the same time, you've got this millennial generation that's going to represent 3/4 of the workforce before too long. So in my previous profession, working in fundraising and development for Catholic charities locally, we talked about it as this transference of wealth that was taking place from one generation to the next. Well, I consider in the business world, it's more this transference of leadership that we're seeing take place. So we've got to recognize those that have gone before us in this community and take as much wisdom as we can from them and invite them to be a part of the brighter future for our community. And then also to recognize the emerging talent and to take advantage of that as well, that it takes all of us. I mean, I think about mentors that I've had, and yes, a couple of them are deceased. I think about a guy named Don Chapman, who was a longtime banker in this community and was involved in forest products. And he's the kind of guy that you get referred to say, you know, you need to sit down with Don and spend at least an hour, you know, every week with Don and just listen to him tell you stories. It's so many life lessons that exist there. But I'm on fire about so many things in Reading, and I get inspired every day. I get inspired by the person that's able to walk down the street huddled around a blanket and a sleeping bag and find a reason to get up in the morning, as much as I'm inspired by all of the exciting conversation that you hear at the Tide House, which I call my conference room because I still get Wi-Fi there, or at one of the coffee shops in downtown Reading. Downtown is such an important part of our community. I think, as I had said recently, that a downtown is to a community as a heart is to the body. So we're only as healthy as our heart, really. So that's why we're focusing on our core right now, to see a Daniel Knott at K2, to see McConnell Foundation focusing for the next 10 years on downtown. Those are things I didn't anticipate when we moved the chamber to downtown Reading after being in a long-term home for decades. Wow. Because I mean, I grew up in the shadow of downtown. Wow. I mean, I remember I was just thinking about how I passed the jail all the time, and it was just part of my neighborhood, you know? And I remember coming down to the old downtown mall, and my parents who grew up here too, telling me about the old days when we had Main Street USA, and we want to get back to that, that idyllic 1950s kind of nostalgia where you got the corner drugstore and you've got this center of commerce, that experience that we heard earlier, that's what gives us an opportunity in the future, that even though we see a Kmart close, which is a sad thing for a Chamber of Commerce to see, other more big box type stores that are struggling, but it's that unique boutique experience that we can create in our local community that can still draw people away from their tablets and cell phones and come into the store and have that great experience. So that was a long filibuster, sorry.
That's great. We have just less than 2 minutes left, and you have a very significant request as the person that runs the Chamber of Commerce. Before you make that final request, I want to ask you the same thing. Look at the camera, and before you kind of talk to the audience, give them a moment of your attention. There are all these YouTube and Facebook pages, locally and from all around the world. They're watching you right now. They will watch the archive. You have one thing to say. What if it's your last big thing that you get to say to the internet? What do you say? What is it that you want to express to them? Because what if the internet shuts down? You lose all electricity.
I know, because I was going to say go Giants, but that's kind of more of a canned thing for me because I just love the San Francisco Giants.
What do you have to say to the world?
To me, what I would like to say to the world about Redding, California, is that this is a community that has an amazing potential, and that we've got this coming together of people that are new to our community and those that have been longtime residents. The longtime residents, sometimes we don't hold our heads up as high as we should because we think for some reason we're not worthy of great things. And I think that just as we can be inspired by the rising mountains to our west and to our north and to our east and the river that runs through, we can be inspired by the economic opportunity that exists here, that quality of life that exists in the people of Redding, California, that you'll help that old woman across the street kind of a feeling. You know somebody at the grocery store and you genuinely care about what's going on in their family, that we want to see each other succeed, knowing that everyone's success will help us all to rise, and we want all of our expectations about what's possible in this community to rise because those are endless.
I love that. Well, out of respect for the rest of the speakers, we're going to wrap. Everybody, Jake is here to serve you. He's here to help you and your family thrive. Don't just be a person that hears about what he does or watches your friends or neighbors take advantage of his service. He's here for you. His infrastructure is here for you. Take advantage of it. That's my call to action for you to lean on Jake. Jake, thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ian.
Appreciate it.
Hi, really excited to talk to you about Bethel School of Technology. And this is Ryan Collins. Ryan is actually the CEO of our new company. Ryan, tell them a little bit about the school.
It's a first-of-its-kind faith-based software development and in-demand technology boot camp. So we are combining what there is a demand for in the market in terms of jobs, and we're also adding the kingdom-minded aspect from Bethel.
This is really a perfect time to start a technology school. We're seeing God move in every other dimension of life, and technology, invention, innovation seems to be a place where God's really emphasizing right now.
What we've seen in the boot camp space is that so many people have talked themselves out of something great because they don't think that they fit the mold.
I really want you to check out Bethel School of Technology. There are so many opportunities out there. We would like to partner with you to actually see you change your life and change your legacy.
Welcome back to the future of Shasta. I am here with one of my new favorite people in the whole world, Ryan Collins. I have been texting you and calling you and emailing you and dreaming with you at a disproportionate rate.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, then you must have a lot of people talk to you. I thought you'd be impressed by me by now. I'm always trying to get a hold of Ryan. Hey, how about this idea? What if we do this? You are actually an answer to my hope for Shasta County and for young people or people in transition. So about a little backstory, about a year and a half ago, I started having this thought, and I started building a strategy around how Redding could increase the economy by upwards of $1 billion a year in new income by basically becoming a hub for freelancers to live here. Seattle, Portland, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco. It's way cheaper to live here. The internet's fast here. And I was kind of building this plan, and if we did it at scale, Reading could completely change. My thought was like flip the funnel upside down, right? We lease our cars, we have mortgages on our house. What if we bring people here that make a great income by working remotely for all the people in the world? And I started working on this plan. And the big issue was education. So we started dreaming about what could be. And we started talking about the future of Shasta and Reading. And we thought, well, maybe we need a tech university. Like, what if we called it Shasta Tech? What if we called it Bethel Tech? And we, being the people that made the decision, I was just the cheerleader, like, you can do it, guys. We decided, let's go Bethel Tech. Bethel has a really amazing brand locally and internationally, and it allows us to kind of get our foot in the door, start this boot camp, and that was it. I was just part of conversations, and then you came in to the rescue at the perfect time. You have the background. You are executing the strategy. Incredible. Everybody is people say great things about you behind your back.
Oh, that's good to know.
So I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad the school launched yesterday. The school is for Reading. The school is for the world. And it really changes who we are as a society, because this is something that has never been available in Shasta County. It's going to change the way people think about education. You're here to represent education and good-looking men. And let's get started.
Okay, sounds good.
Anything's possible. 10 years. Where could Shasta County be?
Time travel, obviously.
Thank you.
So
only going forward.
Right. No, I have a unique perspective in that I've been here for 4 months and moved here from Oklahoma City. And from day one, I've just been overwhelmed and blown away by the hope that is in this community. People always ask, why are you here? And talking to people at the grocery store or the guys that install my cable, and when we tell them, they're just like, you can see, like, literally and figuratively that their heads lift up. And I think that there's just a sense of hope here. And so I'm really excited about that. And I think it just takes a spark to do something big. And I see a lot of sparks in this room tonight. And so what I see Reading being in Shasta County is really a city of the future, a future city. I see us as a tech hub. And I think that there are things brewing right now that are laying the groundwork. And I'm humbled and glad that Bethel School of Technology could be a part of that. But you've got guys like Rick Sabraka and Josh Johnson. I don't know if Josh is here tonight.
I've seen him.
Great. Yeah,
that really amazing man.
Really innovative guys that are thinking, hey, why not? Why not us? And so laying the groundwork, and I think it all comes back to acquiring an in-demand skill, and education is a big part of that. And so I've seen it with my previous company, that if you create the right talent, then that the companies will follow. So my hope and my vision for Reading and Shasta County is that 10 years from now, that we would be this tech hub with amazing talent, that the leading companies from all over the world would come here, not just to get our talent, but also to set up shop here, and it would completely revolutionize the county and the city.
I love that. I love that. Who is inspiring you specifically in Shasta County that has nothing to do with what you do at work, nothing to do with Bethel or the faith world? Like, who have you met out and about, meeting people, and just kind of shocked you, like, wow, I'm just so full of life and hope and optimism from this person or these people that have nothing to do with my world?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, collectively, this community, and I really do, love it. I love that people are open and they're ready for something more. I mentioned Josh and Rick, Julie Winter, who's coming up here soon. I love people that dream big and challenge me to dream big as well, and say, what if, and then why not? And Julie is that. Jackie Durant is another one who's here. I didn't know she was going to be here, but I was going to talk about her and what she does. I have the opportunity to sit in staff staff meetings with her, and when she shares testimonies, it just wrecks me because she's providing hope in oftentimes what we would deem as hopeless situations. And she's not just helping families for now and in some really difficult situations, but she's helping them establish legacy. And that's what I see over this entire region is legacy. Like, what can we do? My wife likes to say something, what does God put in your hands? And that's something that I've stolen from her. I can do that. We're married. So I like to say, what does God put in your hands? What's in your hands that you can make a difference? How can you help people? How can you be intentional about it? And how do we not just talk about it, but how do we actually do it? And you know, the thing is that education is such an important catalyst for that. You can give a man a fish and he eats for a day. You can teach a man a fish and he eats for a lifetime. That's what I'm so excited about. What we're, you know, just the tech space and tech education in general. That there are just so many jobs right now, and there will continue to be more and more jobs in software development and data science and cybersecurity. There's going to be 1 million unfulfilled programming jobs within the next 2 years. Companies are, it's keeping them up at night. How do I get enough talent? And it's not just reskilling or upskilling current talent. We need an infusion of new talent. And so what's so exciting about this is they're willing to pay really good money for entry-level developers. And so I would say that that is something that you can give to somebody. You can give them a tool. You can put something in their hands. They can help their family. They can help their community, and they can establish legacy. And that's why I'm here, and that's what I love about this.
You talk legacy, you talk family, so I want to switch up the third question that's practical in a year. I want to switch from future of Shasta to the future of the Collins family. What is it that Shasta County is providing for your family? You've been here 4 months. How do you see Shasta County in the next 12 months impacting you, your wife, your 3 children? You know, keep it brief, but I want you to make it personal, make it family, because you're a newcomer here.
Yeah.
And this community is going to make a legacy on your family. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's really in which, you know, I have this kind of idea that the filling up is in the pouring out, and what can we actually bring to the community, and how can we help the community, and so I would say let's lock arms, and you know, there's things that need to change, and I think that, and I've seen it firsthand. I've seen where I've got a wonderful colleague that is an expert in grants for homeless veterans, that we provide them a skill in coding, completely changes their life. Same with people that have been incarcerated that are now re-entering the community, giving them a skill. And know somebody that helps with women who have been rescued from human trafficking, giving them a coding skill, something that is going to propel them into a healthy future and establishing that legacy. So I would say the more that we help, the more the community actually helps us.
So let's be vulnerable with our 2 minutes.
Sure. I only am vulnerable for 2 minutes, and then it's completely shut off.
How does your family need help from the community? You're new. How can the community specifically help you? Because that answer is what other new people to town are also feeling but may never say. So be vulnerable, be transparent. Like, how can this community help your family? Not the business, not Bethel Tech, not education. I'm asking because you represent a person in a family that's moving into this area. And so, like, tell us, what do you need from this community? This is the call to action. What can this community do for new families that move?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting. We're very much a kind of home-based, you know. So where we are at, that's where our home is, and we're very close. But what I would say is that, you know, I hear and I love what Hope said about excellence, and I think let's be intentional about this. Let's take away the things that we're hearing tonight, and let's create a plan of action, because that's what we want to see. I mean, we want to see a thriving city, and the other thing I want to say is I don't want to leave anybody behind. I want us to lock arms. I want us to build a city. I want companies to come in here and be excited to come in here and know that we're going to support them, and this city's going to grow in a healthy way. We're not going to manufacture something. It's something that's going to happen organically, but it all starts with that hope. Now, what do we do with it? That, and honestly, for my family, would be huge, because that's what we love to see.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. One last thing.
Yeah.
There's a camera.
Yeah.
You're running a digital tech school. I don't want you to pitch it. What I want you to do is I want you to realize that this is a supercomputer. It's the remote control of our life. You know this, I know this. And that the fact that we have access to so many people listening to us right now, live and archived, like this is, and you look great, by the way. Like the brick and the color and thing and the frame and Sean Buckley's lights. Sean Buckley, one of the most brilliant men I've ever met in my life. I say it every time. I say it again, Sean Buckley. It's
great beard.
I love the way you think. You make me so happy. You make all my crazy ideas, actual strategies. Thank you for that.
So he's the one to blame for that, right?
Yes, he is. But he holds me back in the right ways. You look amazing. You sound amazing. This microphone is epic.
Yeah, it's good.
There it is. Talk to the party people.
Yeah, I would say, think about what is in your hands and be intentional about taking what's in your hands and let's build a community together and let's create a legacy.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, my name is Julie Winter. My husband and I moved here 27 years ago with our 2 sons and made Redding our forever home. I am a family nurse practitioner and I have a master's degree in nursing from UCLA, and I'm proud to say that our office has won Best in the North State for the past 4 years. I serve on the City of Redding's Community Development Advisory Committee, as well as the board of my local professional organization and the board of Advance Redding, which manages the Civic. I'm a graduate of Leadership Redding and a member of numerous civic organizations. But more than all of these things, I'm a mom, and I'm grieved that my oldest son and his wife live elsewhere for work. We need to stop the brain drain by creating a vibrant local economy right here in our city. My medical training causes me to view our city as I would a patient. The rising problems that we see, the social problems of substance abuse, crime, and homelessness, are actually symptoms of an underlying disease. If we want our city to get better, we need to make sure that we focus our resources on the underlying problem, which is our poor economy. Redding is a city blessed with abundant natural beauty, a spectacular riverfront, historic downtown, trails, and outdoor activities. We also have an emerging, creative, and talented workforce with numerous entrepreneurs and 50 new startups in the past year alone. I will work with leaders to leverage our assets and to attract the skilled workers we need, reducing barriers for business. As we invest in public safety, making our streets safer, let's also keep our focus on creating good jobs. I believe our best days are still ahead. The story of our city is not finished. Please join me to create a thriving, prosperous local economy for generations to come.
So because of him, we have Turtle Bay, we have our trail system, we have the Sundial Bridge, the Sheraton, Big League Dreams, just that the dreaming big part of his personality was very inspirational.
I love that. That's actually the perfect segue. We went live about 10 seconds ago.
Great.
Internet, welcome. We love you. Everybody scream for the internet right now. Get loud. There's a lot of people here. We sold the event out. Probably lots of people watching from Shasta County already know who Julie Winters is. We just showed the video about her. She's a hero to me. I said when you were coming up, I've been looking for you my whole life. Let me explain that. There is a unfair advantage for male mentors. Here goes my ear set. There we go. I'll put it back on in a second. And I have been looking for female mentors like my whole life. And I just have found it, it was probably just my arrogance or my ego, or I don't know, it had to be me. There's probably so many amazing women that have been around me. But I just always was longing for a woman like you that casts vision, executes a strategy, and is the type of person I just want to spend time with. I love the things we talk about. I love the way you encourage me. And so, like, you're the first person on my list of who I want to have on this stage to hear from. And so as I put my headset back on, although I probably look awesome holding it like this, or silly, I would love for you to share with everybody, what is your 10-year vision for Shasta?
Awesome. As you know, I'm on the Redding City Council. I want to be clear that I'm speaking for myself tonight. I'm not speaking for the organization, the City of Redding, or for the rest of the council. And also, as I talk about Redding, I'm going to probably say Redding a lot, but I mean Shasta. It's really our whole community. So if you're from Anderson or Shasta Lake City, take this for the entire region. So I see I see a city, it's already happening now, but this excites me tremendously. I see a city that's really breaking off a poverty mindset. I see a city that's gathering, we're really beginning to gather around a strategic plan and a vision for what our city is to become. So instead of looking at the past, we're really positioning ourselves towards the future. So my talk was kind of about economic development, but I see us really positioning ourselves for the jobs of the future. And I also see us really, really valuing our quality of life. People have talked, this is a theme that you're going to hear throughout, our incredibly immense natural beauty, the river that runs through, all the outdoor activities, that's all interlinked with our quality of life. So I see Reading as being creative. I see Reading as entrepreneurial and tech. And I see Reading as the outdoor river and trail city that has it all. I mean, that's the vision that I'm hoping that I can cast for all of you tonight. So as we position ourselves, we know that 70% of all jobs in California will be in the science and technology sector in the next 10 years. So we're going to see a growth and explosion of tech and manufacturing. I think it's 3 to 4% of the economic sector right now of jobs. I expect that to double and triple in the next 10 years. We see Bethel Tech, and there are other tech development happening as well. We're going to see more entrepreneurs. There's an explosion of creativity all over the place. I see more businesses opening and more entrepreneurship. We're seeing that in a seed form with the EDC's Venture Hub Startup Weekend. Tony Giovanello is here, and I'm liaison to EDC, so kudos to EDC, who's a sponsor for this event as well. And they just have such a heart for our entrepreneurs and support system for that. That's going to explode as well. I see us creating a 24/7 downtown. So our downtown, and you guys are here right now, this is just going to increase and explode. I see us really valuing the arts and our culture and entertainment. In this community, that's going to explode as well. In the next 10 years, I see Park Marina getting developed, and so I think there's going to be, as we get, right now the focus is huge on downtown, that's our heart, but as that gets developed, our eye is going to turn to our crown jewel, that's our riverfront. So I see a plan coming forth on that. I can't tell you what it is at this point, but in the next 10 years, something's going to happen down there that'll be incredible as well.
I love that. Who inspires you? I mean, I want to hear who is inspiring you. Ideally, tell us people that inspire you that maybe we wouldn't expect for you to talk about.
Okay. Well, I'm inspired. I'm a dreamer, so I'm inspired by people who dream big and who don't take a no for an answer. Like, I kind of grew up that way. Don't tell me no. That's like almost my eternal motto. I will find a way to do it. So I'm inspired by people who dream the impossible, and I'm inspired by people who take risks. I'm inspired by people who love well. So those are like my core values. I'm heavily inspired by Chris Valentin. Many of you know him at Bethel, but he embodies that nothing is impossible, dream big, take a risk, take a chance. If you fail, so what? Pick yourself up. And there's many other entrepreneurs in this room right now, like Luke Miner and Tim Marinello and Garrett Vigors is in here, and many others as well. So those people who are taking risks in downtown right now, those are very inspirational to me. People mention Rachel. I think Rachel's in the room. Rachel Hatch is incredible. She's very inspirational to me. Michael Cooker and Deborah Lucero with the Shasta County Arts Council. What's that whole value for our history and arts and entertainment? Corey McCandless at the Civic. Just Mike Dahl is over here. Mike Dahl inspires me. He's a mentor, and he's a quiet force who's just poured into this community in lots of ways. A tireless advocate for homeless vets. Jonathan Anderson. I mean, man, if I could just be like Jonathan, he's very inspirational to me. The way he loves well. So that's a huge number of people, but
so great.
I'm proud and humbled to run with them.
For being practical, 2018, we have things that we talk about we want to do, and then we have things that we feel that we want to do that are down here that either we don't say if we don't want to give expectations we can't meet, or we don't say because maybe it's not the right time, maybe there's even fear. When I ask you, where could Shasta County be in a year? I'm asking you to open up and share some of your vision for the next 12 months that maybe you aren't really talking about. And I believe this is a safe place. There's only a lot of people watching and here, but I just let's make it safe. I say this is safe. Open up. You say you don't represent the city council, you represent Julie. So what are you hoping for this year? Like, what are you really hoping for?
So lots of things are going to be happening this year. So Bethel Tech just opened last week, and I think they've got 20 students already enrolled this month.
25 started
25,
yesterday.
okay, 30 next month. And I mean, people are being enrolled every month. So that's exciting. You're going to see increasing workforce development. Daniel Knott was here earlier with K2. The construction for downtown, that beginning of the huge transformation of downtown is going to happen this year. It's going to start this year. And that's going to be very inspirational. You're going to see probably some development along California Street. I'm hoping that the transformation of the bell rooms begins. That's going to be a cycle-oriented cafe. Again, that whole nod to our trail and bike system, which is going to be, in the future, going to be a huge economic driver for us, our bike and trail system. Very, very unique because of the amount of trails that we have happen here. The old Americana, that's going to be transformed this year. And that's an eyesore. I drive by that. I don't know if the rest of you drive by that every day, but every day I'm like, ugh. It's just like a burr under the saddle. And when that changes, because we all see it every day, that's going to drive a lot of hope. So I just see a lot of stuff happening in downtown and just more community gathering in downtown.
That's awesome. So when you run, so it's interesting, your life, what you do, because family, but then nurse practitioner, like very, very successful in the field of health. You even wrote a book, Renew. I was so encouraged by what you wrote in that book. I bought a case before it was available, and I've been handing them out to people that I think need the encouragement that's both spiritual, emotional, but also like physically medical. So you have that world. You have the world of being a leader in the community. A lot of people will say, you're a Bethel elder, and you are, but it's beyond that. You're on many boards, many councils. Like, you give your life. Like, you definitely are the type of person that people look at and say, how does she do it all? How does she have the energy, or how does she make it all happen? But on top of all that, to take on the role of a city council person, to commit your energy and your time to this city, and it does affect the entire region, Shasta, Lake City, and Anderson. Even though you're serving Redding, it still affects everybody. So, as somebody in your role, especially in the political element, you are asking people for things. Vote for me, come to this event, fund this, donate to this. That's a normal thing to ask. But there's a lot of people in this room, there's a lot of people watching online. So for the Shasta County residents here in digital, what's the most important thing you need from them right now?
We need to love our city well. And I'm speaking in a broad term, but love looks like something. Love isn't just a feeling. Love is in action, and love is often in our words. And so what are you passionate about? What do you love? We need people to help with the trails, community cleanup. So if you're passionate about bikes and trails, do that. If you're compassionate about people who are disadvantaged, like homelessness, we have Good News Rescue Mission. Get involved and serve there. We need mentors. There's a whole Catalyst mentoring program with the goal of training up 1,000 mentors for disadvantaged youth. Can you imagine what would happen to our city if 1,000 at-risk youth had a mentor, a normal person in their life that was casting vision? That would change the entire destiny of our city. So whatever you're passionate about, do that well, but put your shoulder to the boulder, so to speak. And the other thing is be an ambassador to our city. Love our city well. And we need builders. We don't need people throwing rocks. We've got enough of that in the past, and that's definitely changing. But our words are powerful. We do create worlds with our words. So what do you want to see happen? Speak that. Speak that out. Speak that over our city. Just begin to declare what you want to see happen, and our words become a self-fulfilling prophecies, so to speak. So what is it we want our city to become? Let's speak that. Let's dream big. We can be and do whatever it is that we want to do if we determine that we're going to do that.
I love that. Final thing. There's that beautiful camera right there. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. And this is for the digital audience live and to be archived, those that are watching. Like, their ears are attentive.
So I am passionate about our city, and our city is an amazing place. Reading is amazing, the entire community, because of the immense natural beauty, but more than that, because of the creative people that have come here from all over the world for a variety of reasons. And this is a city where our children are going to be coming back to. We are creating a future for our children here. And so this is the time to look towards the future, throw off that poverty mindset, and be what we were meant to be.
Thank you so much for being here. We're going to cut to a video about the Good News Rescue Mission. Jonathan Anderson's going to come on up.
One of the biggest challenges in our country is homelessness, and we see it every day in the North State. Each year, the Good News Rescue Mission provides services for over 3,000 people. At the mission, women and children experiencing homelessness has risen 50% over this past year. Your generous gift to the mission will enhance our vital role in the community, helping others break out of that cycle of poverty. Go to gnrm.org to donate and find out more how you can help.
I'm loving you right now. My name is Ian Utilli, and this is one of my heroes, Jonathan Anderson. You do what I wish I would do, which is dedicate my life to the outcast, the impoverished, those that have been written off in society. I'm so grateful for you, bro. You know, Jake gave me a couple hats to give away, like contest, and Corey gave me a couple Modest Mouse tickets to give away. I am going to do a giveaway to all of you, but I want you to give this to two people that you believe in at the Good News Rescue Mission.
Awesome.
Like, dude, I love what you do.
Wow.
Like, what you do is what I've been looking for. You know, I've spent the last decade, you know, going to the rescue mission where I live. These people have been written off. And it's such a grind, bro. What you do is so impossible. I just think about you all the time. I'm so grateful.
Wow. Ian.
I'm ruined right now.
Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Tell me about a Shasta County that's
awesome.
for your people. I want you to bless
Love
somebody
it.
with a hat and tell them that one day they're going to be part of the Chamber of Commerce.
Love it.
And bring them to a concert.
Yeah. Yeah. Poverty
Tell me
mentality.
Tell me about the next decade of compassion that leads to a Shasta County that doesn't need a Good News Rescue Mission.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. First, I would say, in order for any community to prosper, one, the economic development has to prosper. Two, your tourism has to prosper. And three, your law enforcement has to prosper. If those three aren't prospering, your community cannot survive. And unfortunately, in a lot of communities, you see people who are homeless sleeping in front of a place of business. That is going to drive away tourism. It's going to drive away your economic commerce. And it's going to put a strain on your law enforcement. So what is the compassionate response to bringing healing to that so your community and those people can all survive at the same time? And I really feel like each person as an individual human being, the condition of your heart, the condition of your soul is directly dependent on how well you care for another person.
And if you despise people, your heart suffers in the process. If you love people, your heart rejoices in the process. So take it in a business sense. In business, you would never hire a customer service rep who hates people, right? You wouldn't do it.
True.
Because how your customer service representative loves your customers will dictate the health and prosperity of your organization. That's the same with every society. How we love and care for our most vulnerable will dictate the health and prosperity of our community overall. Yeah. So I really envision a community where when we see people who are homeless, when we see people who are outcast, we see people who are unloved, untouchable, unreachable, that we do the impossible, that we go directly to them, we hear their story, we find out who they are, and we love them with a radical compassion that says it's not acceptable for you to live like that. It's not. What you need to live like is with absolute radical love in your heart. That is what true transformation and healing is. And when that happens, a community prospers. Tourism prospers. Economic development prospers. The strain on law enforcement decreases. I foresee Shasta County being known as a community that the soul, our soul, is a direct reflection of how well we care for those that are most vulnerable in our community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So good. Can you talk to us about the people that are in or have gone through the program that nobody may ever know her or his name, except for you telling about them? Please don't talk about anybody that people know. I really want you to talk about the people that are unknowns that inspire you.
I was waiting for you to say who inspires you.
Can't wait to hear it.
Oh my gosh, because truly, it is the people that I work with every single day. I mean, there's a lot of incredible people in our community, but...
And I want you to say their name, not because you know they're going to stay sober and going to live this epic life, but you know what if they don't? But their kids, their grandkids, what if their great-great-great-grandkids 100 years from now watch how their ancestor inspired you and kept you going? So don't be hesitant to say a name of a person or people that have gripped your heart and made it worth it to wake up and run toward work.
You're going to make me cry. I'm going to say some names here. And it's people who probably even watching right now. One that comes to mind right now, God, there's so many. One that comes to mind, Tracy Cole. When I first arrived at the mission, I was the academic director, and we started this academic program, and Tracy was just about to graduate the program, and she said, hey, I'm not going to college. No, Tracy, you can go to college. You know, we can do this. I'm not going to college. And she came back later and she said, Jonathan, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe I do need to go to college. Can you help with that? Yeah, I can help with that. Not only does Tracy go to college to accomplish what her dream is, but she starts to get notice from the people at the college, the president, everybody else. And in the process, not only is she pulling straight A's, Tracy Cole becomes one of the model students for the entire college. And I'll never forget it. At the award ceremony, when everybody is getting awards for their scholarships, she invites me. Most people are getting 1, 2, 3 scholarships. The highest number of scholarships someone got was 6 scholarships. And then they called Tracy to the stage, who had 12 scholarships for her academic excellence. Wow. I mean, that's amazing. It inspires me. It inspires me to see people beat the life that they had and regain a brand new life. And I can tell you hundreds of names that happens with every single year.
Wow.
It's good news. I hope she doesn't mind me saying her name.
Tell me, here's a real issue.
Yeah.
The bumper sticker requests to help the Good News Rescue Mission or any charity. Give us your talent, give us your time, give us your treasure. We have needs, you have resources, come here and help us. And it makes sense. I mean, you have to raise money, you have to be funded. You are caring for all of your people. Like, they're not Jonathan's homeless people. They're not Jonathan's drug addicts. They're your homeless people. They are your drug addicts. You belong to them, and they belong to you as long as they live here. He cares for them. My concern is the pat request. Like, it's just like a cookie request. You know, we need your money. We need you to volunteer. There's got to be more. There's got to be something more custom, more significant. Like, you have everybody's attention. I'm crying.
Yeah.
You got the dude with the chrome glasses and the gold freaking t-shirt to cry in front of everybody online, which is fine. I don't care. I like being sensitive and emotional. But like, here you go, bro. Tell them, but don't make it give us your money, give us your time. It's got to be more than that. You have to rip their heart out of their chest and throw it into the Good News Rescue and get them to help you.
This is good. I love that you said your shirt, on earth as it is in heaven. I might preach. Hold on. So, Mother Teresa says, loneliness is the greatest poverty in the world. I would rather be hungry than lonely. The highest, let me say this. Let me say it this way. The greatest form of torture that we have in our community would be capital punishment. Right below that, solitary confinement. Make someone utterly alone in life. You will become mentally disturbed for the longer periods of time that you spend in solitary confinement. Isolation, social isolation. Life is all about human relationship. What we need in society is we need people to love people. And it's that simple. The greatest form of poverty that we see in the mission is a generational cycle of poverty. It is grandparents who got stuck on a government welfare system and taught that cycle of poverty to their children, and it's teaching that now to their great-grandchildren, on and on. My buddy Aaron Hayes always says, we will repeat the pattern that we most often see. Generational cycle of poverty. I'm going to repeat that pattern because that's the only pattern that I often see. Loneliness being the greatest poverty in the world. To me, the best way to end loneliness, if you have 3,000 people who are homeless, give me 3,000 mentors. To go directly to them, to hear their story, to change their perception, have their heart ripped out in the process, and say, I love you to the point that I will sacrifice for you. I don't even know you. Maybe you're not even worthy of me, but I'm going to sacrifice my life for you on earth as it is in heaven. So, you want to put the mission out of business? Give me 3,000 people out of the 90,000 in this community that want to adopt one homeless person to walk with them for the next year, to live life on life with them. You won't have homelessness anymore.
So good, bro.
And I'll be asking someone for a job because I'll be homeless.
How do they do it? So let's say that 30 people in this room raise their hand. Maybe we're fortunate. Maybe 2,970 are raising their hand on the internet right now. How do we know how broad this reaches? I don't know. A lot of people could be watching.
Yeah.
How? It's got to be a very clear strategy. Call the Good News Rescue Mission. Email us here. Do this thing. I need 3,000 of you. If 3,000 of you raise their hand, adopt a homeless person, we'll still have the infrastructure. Might take us a decade, but we'll eventually get there and eradicate the issues that we have with systemic poverty and all of the hardship that your people are facing.
Yeah. Two ways. First one, call my assistant. Just kidding. 2 ways.
That's funny.
The first one is, You have to learn a person's story, first and foremost. And here's what I mean by that. I hear people tell me all the time, Jonathan, they just need to get off drugs and get a job. Pretty easy for you to say. Here's why. 80% of the people that we serve, so 3,000 people come through our doors annually. There's about 300 that sleep on the street. 3,000 come through our doors. 80% of that 3,000 started using drugs before they were 10 years old. That's crazy. Wow. Learn a person's story. Wow. Because if you found out that that person was forced into drugs at 10 years old, you wouldn't perceive them the way that they are today. So your heart will change in the process. So good. And if you want help connecting with somebody, my goodness, we have probably 30, 40 social service organizations in this community. Pick one. That's good. Get with them. I'm going to put a plug out for my buddy Aaron Hayes, Catalyst Mentoring. Awesome. Start up, become a mentor. Teach someone a new way of life that is not a poverty mentality. It's a prosperity mentality that's filled with love.
It's so good. Look at the camera. Talk to the world.
That's awkward.
What do you have to say? That's not just Shasta County. It is all-encompassing and holistic. Right there, they can't wait to hear you.
Simple. May we become a community of love where oppression can no longer exist.
So good, bro. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you. Here, take these right here. Mind, I'd like to take the last 8 minutes I have and share a couple final thoughts with you. Is that okay? Okay. So, my family, I'm part of two well-known families in California. The Pachecos that go back to the 1400s. I'm a 19th generation Californian. And then the Moragas, who Lieutenant Moraga founded San Jose in 1777, and so that's 10 generations. So as you can imagine, I feel like Shasta County is my county. My family, my ancestors, have traveled through Shasta County for more than a dozen generations. And, you know, they didn't have resources. When Lieutenant Moraga came from Spain, he was second in command of the Spanish army. He lands in Monterey, California in 1776, and the general says to Lieutenant Moraga, "You've done well. Go up north and make a name for yourself." Now, he could have done what warlords might do, which is take soldiers and go slaughter people up north and make his own place. He chose differently. He grabbed a priest, 14 men, some women and children. He went up north. He landed where the Presidio is now at in San Francisco. And Lieutenant Moraga started the Presidio, and in 1777 made his way down to San Jose, founded the city of San Jose. No resources, no technology, no medicine, no communication, no ability to get back to Spain, no help, no support. He made it happen with nothing 10 generations ago. I think of him as like the first great entrepreneur of the Silicon Valley. Most of my life, I had this wrong thinking of dystopia, that the world was getting worse, which is a scientific lie. Now, I'm not talking about like pollution. I'm talking about poverty, homelessness, drug addiction, ability of getting food. All the statistics are getting better, not worse. The media makes us think that things are worse, but it's not. Scientifically, we're doing better as humanity. I mean, I think of humanity right now like Mario Brothers, right? We hit the mushroom and we're leveling up. Things are getting better, but I didn't really see that. I kept thinking about how things are getting worse. And it wasn't until I read a book by Chris Valentin. You know, some of you know who he is. And he gave me this book, and he said, "I really think you're going to like this book." And it's called Heavy Rain, and I get it. And I don't think introduction, no, it's acknowledgement. I've never had acknowledgement rock me like this book did. I open it up and it says, for my children's 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 children who I'll never meet, but everything I do is for you, and I will celebrate you in heaven. And I remember reading that, and I remember thinking, I always talk about Lieutenant Moraga, and I do it to encourage people. Like, look what's possible. But I wouldn't even think about 3 generations from now. Like, I never gave myself permission to think about 2,400. I never gave myself permission to do great things and build a legacy of the significance of what Moraga did, ever. And it was like, for the first time, I had permission, validation to do that. So often, people feel under-resourced. They're not smart enough. They're not pretty enough. They don't have the right team. They can't think well enough. They're emotional intelligent. There's always an excuse. Your excuses are not helping you. The excuses you hear about Shasta County or Redding or the police or the homeless or the drugs, not helpful. It has no impact on your ability to make a legacy here. No impact. Moraga came with nothing. Whether you like Bethel Church or not, you know, I purposely didn't invite, most of my network are Bethel people because I hang out with them. I come up here to work with them on special projects. Like, that's fine. This is not a Bethel event, right? It's just me inviting my friends and their friends. And I had 18 different people that were interviewed before this event this afternoon. And I come up here for that, to hang out, work with them. I've started a company with several friends called 100XR. I'm starting another new company with 8 people here that live in Redding. I'll keep coming up here. I love this place. But you know, allow me to just say, like, for Bill Johnson and Chris Valentin as an example, like when they started off, it was them and their wives and 30 people. It's now like 84 organizations and a world-known thing. Like, whatever your lack of resources is doesn't matter. You can do anything. You don't even have to have a vision. You can just take Luke's vision. Take Hope's vision. Take Jake's vision or Ryan's vision or Julie's vision. Take Jonathan's vision. Like, go online, go on Google. Google great vision. Take the vision, make it your own, make it happen. Nothing can stop you. Lack of money can't stop you. Lack of health can't stop you. There is nothing that can keep you from transforming the world. Nothing. Only your excuses, your lack of faith in yourself, your lack of faith in what's possible. Your selfishness could affect. Your pride could affect you. So get selfless, be empathetic, put yourself in other people's shoes, be humble, work hard, and make a difference. And if you don't leave here setting your mind to do that, then you go right back to the same patterns and watch everybody else, like the folks on the stage, making a difference. Because I'll tell you what, the people that I interviewed tonight, they will be talked about 10 generations from now, if humanity is graced to keep going on as we do. They will be. Will you be? Internet, will you be? YouTube and Facebook, will you be known? Not for your own ego. You'll be gone. It won't matter to you anymore. It's not for pride's sake. It's because you can. You are one of 7.3 billion people. It's basically, I've heard, 1 in 4 trillion chance that you get born. Like, you came out a winner, okay? The moment that you were conceived, you beat all the odds. The wind is in your sails. You get it? You can't be stopped. There's no excuse why you can't do what's in your heart to do. This is not a faith message. This is not a religious message. This is one businessman with a family legacy that loves your city, that's telling you, you can make this a reality. Will you? I'm out of time, and I'm going to end with this dream I mentioned earlier. I woke up 5 times and I had this dream. If you've ever seen the Apple TV, the Apple TV has this drone footage on it. And so there's Dubai, and there's San Francisco, and there's Hong Kong, and there's all these amazing aerial drone footage. And I go to sleep, I wake up from this dream, and I had it like 5 different times. And every time I woke up, I'm like, how's that even possible? How in the world are we ever going to get there? Because it was about Redding. And here is what I saw. I saw Redding, Shasta County, more beautiful, more prosperous, more abundant than Dubai in the future. It literally looked like Redding had been not scraped and redone, but that Redding had been redeveloped by you. Like you actually made my dream a reality in the future. You don't know it yet, but you did. Thank you very much. And it was like the Apple building all across Shasta County. It was the location on earth that people talked about. Not because of money, because of prosperity. Not because of riches and wealth, but because of spiritual, emotional, family wealth. And the city reflected what had happened in people's hearts. And I was in my dream in total awe. And I'm sitting in my dream, and I'm on a couch, and one of the leaders in Redding is explaining how we got there. But I didn't remember it. I was like, oh, the plan was not there. And I kept thinking all day, how are we going to get there? How are we going to get there? How are we going to get there? And that night I was with some friends, and we were kind of having a think tank, a little mastermind together, talking about the future. And I'm an imaginative guy. Like, I knew you would be here. Okay, I already saw you. I walked in Final Draft about 4 weeks ago, and I was visiting my family. My wife's parents live here. I walked through the doors, and I saw all of you. Saw the stage, I saw the lights, a little bit hot too for me. A little bright. I didn't see that part. If I saw you, I already saw this. I knew this was going to happen. I saw it. I have a good imagination. So I wake up from the dream. I'm asking all day, help me understand how we get there. And this is what I saw. I saw Shasta Lake, and it was desolate. Like an old war zone, had ships on it, and the ships were completely broken down and abandoned, and the lake was basically just dirty mud. And I'm looking at the lake, and then I see like dirty water on top of oil, which isn't normal, right? Oil rises. And I just remember thinking, like, this whole dream is all messed up. And then I saw the entire thing change in an instant. In one moment, the dirty water evaporated. The oil was absorbed into the ships. These old broken down ships became the most glorious, beautiful yachts ever. And the complete desolate wasteland that looked like Armageddon became the most lush, amazing area. And I realized in that vision what I was seeing. That for Shasta County, the way it happens is in a moment. Are you going to be part of that moment? Because the future of Shasta is going to be way beyond your wild imagination, whether you're involved or not. And I welcome you to join us. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Are we done? Yeah. So I think we cut the cameras. I'm going to say one last thing about, I mentioned that.